The Roberts Space Industries Scorpius is the newest offering from the namesake company of the game. Can this two-seater Hurricane alternative steal its crown?
Quantum travel initiated.
As always, I start with a disclaimer. I'll never suggest purchasing a ship with real money outside of the starter packs, currently the Aurora and Mustang, as you can earn or find everything in-game. If you want to put extra money into the project, that's your prerogative, but I'm not going to advise you either way. With that all said, the Scorpius. A new ship in RSI's lineup, the Scorpius draws a lot of similarities to the Amble Hurricane, which is undoubtedly its key opponent, splitting great offensive power between the pilot and gunner in a fairly small and light package. As a fighter with no interior, there's little to cover here. In terms of personal storage, the Scorpius offers 1.5 SCU, so not much, as well as stowage for a couple of weapons. Access to components is unhindered from the ground, and visibility from the cockpit is easily some of the best I've seen, affording excellent situational awareness in all directions. You are limited to 2 MFDs however, which may feel limiting to some. As a heavy fighter, it's all about dealing damage and tanking damage. On the tanking front, as a heavy, the Scorpius comes equipped with a single size 2 shield generator, putting it on par with the Hurricane. It also offers a redundant power supply. It falls just shy of the competition however in terms of health and armouring, and this is especially true for the wings. These are a prime target, and if broken, will take one of the weapons with them. On the side of dishing out the hurt, the 4 size 3 mounts for the pilot offer as much DPS as any medium fighter, and actually outpaces the Hurricane's 2 size 4s, so long as you don't lose one of course. The pilot also has access to 16 size 2 missiles via the bespoke mounts, substantially more than the Hurricane's 4. The remote turret's 3 size 3s is equivalent to the competition's, and offers excellent coverage in its top placement, ranging from below the flight line to near vertical. This is in contrast to the Hurricane's fixed man turret, which has an identical firing arc but is much less usable above 60 degrees due to the canopy blocking your view, which forces you to rely on your HUD. The bottom position gives excellent downwards firing arcs, but it is restricted from aiming forward. One thing to note here is that due to being a remote turret, the Scorpius currently lacks a radar in that view, which reduces the gunner's situational awareness. Now, CIG have stated they have plans for this in the future, but it is worth noting nonetheless. As for keeping those weapons on point, the Scorpius handles fantastically. And CIG know this, and they have expressed an intent to nerf it in the future, so keep that in mind. Getting off the mark, the Scorpius offers 7.9 G of thrust, bringing you to an outstanding SCM of 218 meters per second in just 2.8 seconds, and a maximum of 1250 in 16 seconds. With a reverse thrust of 3.9 G, stopping's pretty good too. Sideways movement is much slower however, with only 2.3 G of lateral thrust, though vertical is good with 5.5 up and 2.7 down. Almost every acceleration value is higher than the Hurricane's in fact, but something of note is that under boost, the Hurricane has more acceleration in every axis. This is a really nice distinction that I want to see more of. Rotationally, the Scorpius has 42 degrees per second of pitch, 37 of yaw, and 144 of roll. This is substantially higher than the Hurricane's 30, 31, and 131 respectively. I expect to see the Scorpius brought down to around about 35, 135. That will keep it above the Hurricane due to its high fragility, but will bring it more in line with the rest of the heavy fighters. In low atmo, the Scorpius has excellent top speed, and it rotates well. Be wary however that whilst the nose moves quick, your vector does not, necessitating the use of boost to get going in a new direction. It's also quite wide with the wings deployed, but thanks to the ability to stow them, tight spots are a breeze for skilled pilots. So, is there a place for the Scorpius? It's an excellent fighter and will remain so even with my expected nerfs. It's a great alternative to the Hurricane, offering more damage at the cost of the risk of losing that output. For predominantly solo players who occasionally employ a gunner, the Scorpius is the better choice of the two. For those who play in twos more often, it honestly comes down to personal choice of which feels better for you and your gunner. They're both really good choices. As it's a new ship, we are of course yet to see an in-game price for the Scorpius, but I'd expect to see it placed slightly ahead of the Hurricane, much as with the real world pricing. I do expect the Hurricane to get a price bump in game however. This is a lot of fighting capability for only 1.2 million UEC. And that's all on that. Let me know your thoughts on the Scorpius down below. And whilst there, remember to like, subscribe, etc, etc. Thank you for watching. I'll catch y'all next time.